Welcome students. Today we will discuss the last topic of chapter 1 history, that is the modern world. The topic is sources of history. As while going through the chapter we have seen what are the different forms of history, what are time spans, how the history is interpreted. All this information about history, the period in which we were not actually present, how we are able to frame and collect that information, and we are able to restructure that time. It is because of the sources of history. The sources of history are basically of two types: archaeological sources and literary sources. While archaeological sources are less important sources when it comes to studying modern history, as these sources are the physical remains which were present on the earth in proper form mainly thousands of years ago. But in modern world, since the modern history is not too old, these resources or these sources are not of much importance for studying the modern world. Hence, literary sources are more prominent ones to study the modern history or modern world. What are literary sources? A literary source is a work written in standardized language with details like socio-political conditions of the time. They are actually opinions and they are elaborative in nature. Also, the language used for literary sources has its own grammar. Now, literary sources are of many types, the first one being the official records. What are official records? Official records are the documents or written records kept or maintained by government or an agency. The Mughals introduced this culture of recording everything, but it was Britishers who perfected it. The examples of official records include government reports or administrative reports. Next example of literary sources include the survey reports. What are surveys? Surveys are actually the studies based on data collected to get information or increase knowledge for social research and to understand the demographic profile of an area. Demographic profile relates to the population present in a particular geographical area. The British, they began this practice of surveys: population survey, revenue survey, land survey. They were some of the surveys conducted by Britishers along with mapping of an area. Britishers, they also made a large number of topographic maps. Indigenous records are also an important type of literary sources. Indigenous records are written works generally expressed in native or aboriginal language. Diaries, pilgrims and travelers accounts, newspapers in English and vernacular, books, novels and leaflets are some of the indigenous records. What is vernacular? Vernacular is the common language spoken by common or ordinary people in a region. Thank you.